I'm really super grateful, and I also noticed that I'm humbled and a bit nervous to be standing here in front of everyone. So maybe I'm going to sit. We lost it.
Yeah, keep going.
We lost it. Now we're back. So I feel so grateful just that we're having this day here. 15 years ago, I found my way to India. Well, it was a little bit before that, but I found Ayurveda, I would say, 15 years ago while I was in India studying yoga and meditation. And when it entered into my life, it was like Dhanvantari came home to where he'd always been. And so it was like a recognition of something that had already been there, a recognition of a wisdom that was not just known in this life, but maybe previous lives as well. And so I'm really thankful, Ismatji, that you've taken the time to, in these last 2 weeks, for us to really plow forward and have this day on Canadian soil. And so a few years ago, I came back to Canada after many years in the East. It was about 5-6 years ago. And when I said Ayurveda, yoga, people knew, right? But yoga, not so many people knew. And when I said Ayurveda, people said, Ayur what? How do you spell that? What is it? And so a lot of people ask me, and actually I'm not here in Toronto or in the GTA, but I'm from Peterborough. And so in Peterborough, I'm the only practitioner currently, actually, of Ayurveda. And it's growing there because of our sharing around it. And so for me today is such a special day to see the gift of something that touched my heart all those years ago in India, and now to see it blossoming and for us to celebrate on this auspicious day here in Canada. And I hope we're going to do it every single year, again and again, yeah. And so Ismatji said to me, can you in 10 minutes share about, from the Ashtanga Samgraha Sutrasthana, can you share about Ayurveda and life purpose? I was like, okay, in 10 minutes, how am I going to do that, right? And so in the beginning of this beautiful text, Vagbhata offers a sutra that really says the following. And for me, it's the encompassing of what Ayurveda truly is. Ayurveda, like yoga, is in the danger of dilution, I would say. So yoga, as we've seen, it's grown in popularity, but as it's grown in popularity, something has also happened to yoga. Have you noticed? Yeah. Most of us have. So it's become a fitness approach, or it's become gymnastics, or really for the body more than anything. And so in the same light, Ayurveda, in all of the beautiful sharing and everything that we have here today, gives me hope. Because sometimes I hear of Ayurveda and I only hear of Tridosha theory, although right now, where is she? I just shared. When you were sharing, Bhavana, it's like I was just saying to Lisa, in 10 minutes, how quickly you went through everything. Saptadhatu, Samprapti, let's just go for it, yeah? Tridosha was amazing. So a lot of us have only heard, I go online, I check out a website, I do my quiz test, whatever it is. I know what my prakriti is, and now I know who I am according to Ayurveda, and I align everything to that. And I tell people that I'm a Pitta Vata person, right? And it's about that deep. Or it becomes a sort of Indian dietetics. So Ayurveda is sort of this Indian glorified nutritional system. Or thirdly, it becomes spa rituals or spa therapies. And all of those things are part of Ayurveda, and they're beautiful. They're wonderful parts. But in this text, and the texts, and all of the offerings from the original rishis of Ayurveda, they say one thing, which is the same as yoga. And they say that Ayurveda intends towards one sankalpa, one intention. And what is that? Moksha, liberation. And in this very life, through the teachings and the gifts of these Vedic wisdoms, that we can come home to ourselves, that we can live a life of freedom, in fact. And so in this sutra, what Vagbhata is offering is, he says, those who are desirous of a life, those who are yearning for a life that has a fullness of dharma, which is spiritual fulfillment, purposefulness, those who are yearning also for artha, for great sustenance in our lives, abundance, we could call it. We might say wealth, but really abundance in every sphere. And also those who are yearning for sukha, for great ease and happiness and joy. May they bestow the utmost faith in Ayurveda. That's not a small statement. It's not a small statement, right? And so if we really come to understand what Ayurveda is, as a recognition of life, as a recognition, as you were sharing about swastha, as a recognition that health is our natural state, as a recognition that it is our birthright to live in wholeness and harmony and peace, this is really living Ayurveda. And so everything that Ayurveda intends to offer us through its various chikitsas, through its various medicinal offerings, whether that be diet or lifestyle or herbs, they all intend towards one thing, which is to show you that you're already free. To show you what your birthright is, to return you to your prakriti, to your naturalness. And so my call really in the work that I do here and the work that we're doing also through Rasa is to take this original intention, to take the intention of freedom, of liberation through Ayurveda, and to bring it home. And so how do we bring it home? Because if we're here on North American soil, what does that look like? So this would be a call that I would ask to each of you, that we continue to maintain the authenticity of Ayurveda, that we remember that this is its intention, but we also remember where we are now. So we remember that we're approaching 2020. We remember that on Canadian soil also the Ayurvedic principles need to be applied here so that they're approachable for a culture that uses, devices and uses all of these things 24/7, and for a culture that can, skip the dishes and call Uber Eats, and that we apply Ayurveda now. Because if we try to use it in an archaic understanding that was applied maybe in another land or another place, then we'll miss the point of what it's truly intended towards. And so this is one thing that I would say we really, really need to call to each other to remember. And secondarily, that we really remember this intention and we remember what Ayurveda reminds us towards, which is that absolutely a life of fullness is one in which we really attune to our Dharma. We really attune to spiritual fulfillment, to feeling into our wholeness, where we really help communally also to attune to Artha. What is it to have abundance for many? Not just singular. That's medicine. In fact, in the Vedas, it's known that one of the 5 forms of medicine is dana. What's dana? Generosity. That in fact, to give is medicinal. To give to others. This is great artha, right? And lastly, that really, truly, sukha. Sukha meaning not an ephemeral passing happiness, but that there be a constancy of joy for all beings. That we really contribute to that in this plane and on this earth now. And so this is truly Ayurveda, and that we not forget that that's the intentionality that grounds Ayurveda. And so what that really looks like is that our lives can be a way of living Ayurveda. There really is a science of life or a knowledge of life, that it isn't a symptomatic, applicable sort of curative science, that it's not taking an allopathic model in the way in which we only use it when there's illness to fix something, but instead we really come to Ayurveda as a way of living, as a way of inhabiting our fullness. So that's probably past 10 minutes. And Bhagavata is, I feel so humbled and so grateful to even share this sutra. In many ways it's very intimidating. But I hope that this shares also for those of you who might be new to Ayurveda, the depth of where Ayurveda arises from, textually, when we consider the origins of Ayurveda. So last year I was in India on this day, and today I am so happy to be here together. I'm so grateful that we're together in this way, and just so grateful that Ayurveda continues to be shared on this land and in this space, and may it benefit so many beings. May we take it out in all spheres. So thank you everyone. Namaste.